Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our joint webinar. myPV and Growatt. We are doing the presentation together. We would like to show you the benefits of the combination of our two brands. While Growatt is a manufacturer of PV inverters, myPV is a manufacturer of power-to-heat solutions for residential applications. And together, we can be combined to increase the PV self-consumption ratio in an on-grid system to an absolute maximum. And this is what it's all about today. So, welcome again. I would like to start with a short introduction. My name is Reinhard Hofstetter. I'm at myPV for 5 years now. And before I started at myPV in the company, I worked in the field of research of conventional solar thermal systems. So I'm pretty aware of all the details of pipes and pumps and thermal collectors and expansion vessels and antifreezing liquid and all that stuff that is required. And from that point of view, it's became clear to us that this conventional old-fashioned solar thermal systems, they are now no longer up to date. Today we have cables instead of pipes. We are using power directly from solar PV now. Instead of solar thermal systems, we are using the power from solar PV. And in doing so, we are making the whole system many times easier, and nowadays we make it also cheaper. So the gentlemen above me on these slides, there are Dr. Gerhard Rimpler. There is Dr. Gerhard Rimpler. He's the managing director from myPV. And his basic knowledge is the base for our developments, for our solutions. He invented the PV inverter division in a big Austrian PV inverter company. And from this side, he has the basic know-how for the creation of the myPV solutions, and he started with myPV 10 years ago. In between, there's our colleague Talal Bhatt. Talal, please introduce yourself now.
Yeah, thank you, Reinhard. So from my side, I have been as a background electrical engineer and worked as a testing commissioning engineer in a petrochemical plant. And later I oriented my career towards renewable energy. So I specialized in solar energy from a university in Germany. And for last year, I have been handling the international sales at myPV. And I have provided my email address. You will get the slide. With the slides, you will get my email address. And I will be your contact person in terms of sales. So don't hesitate in terms, if you have any questions, you can look forward to me. And now I will be in the chat as we will be conducting the webinar. So if you have any questions, you can just drop down your questions in the chat box and I will be there to answer it. And thanks, Reinhard, over to you.
Thank you, Talal. I will send you the slides of today's presentation after the session, and at this moment you will also receive my contact data. So while Talal is your direct contact for questions on sales, I'm available for all the technical questions that might be there. No problem, we can do this also on a later stage. And if there are questions from your side during the webinar right now, enter it in the chat room, and please enter it in a way that all the participants can see your questions, because they also benefit from the conversation in the chat. Okay, just a short overview. myPV is relatively young. We were founded by Dr. Rimpler 10 years ago. So the latest milestone this year is our 10-year anniversary, and we are going to move our company into a new building. We have to increase the production capacities because the whole topic which we are dealing with, hot water and space heating from photovoltaics, has now reached the hearts and minds of the people. When we started 10 years ago, this was relatively new. The people were not aware that this is possible. They were used to work with solar thermal systems. Using PV power now was something completely new. They were skeptic. But during the last 10 years, this has completely changed. And now we are also increasing our production capacities and also the office area for our new colleagues, because we are increasing also our staff regularly. Okay, enough from my side. Before I start with the main part from myPV, I would like to hand over to Juning. And thanks for the joint webinar today, Juning. It's the second time that we are doing this together. Last time was in German. Happy to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the nice words. I'm happy to be here. And I will be representing Growatt for this webinar, for this joint webinar with myPV. So let's get on. First, I want to introduce you a little bit to the company. Firstly, about myself. As you can see, this is my name. I don't have the right pronunciation, so I actually don't care how you pronounce it. I grew up in Germany, as you can maybe tell from my thick German accent, but you can call me what you want, Yuling Shu or Xu Jining or whatever. This is I don't actually care. I've been working for Growatt for a little over 1 year now, and I'm a technical engineer for Growatt Europe, especially for German. I studied electrical engineering with a specialty for photovoltaics and renewable energies, and this is my little story. And I graduated last year, so I don't have so much on my vita as my other two colleagues have. A little bit about Growatt. Growatt is a renewable energy company. And it's dedicated to PV inverters mostly, but also energy storages, microgrid system, and smart energy management solutions. Our headquarter is in Shenzhen, the Asian Silicon Valley. It was founded in 2010. We've got an experienced R&D team with it's up to date with all the electronic industry. We're an international high-tech company, so we are operating worldwide with, as I said already, the main focus on high-efficiency solar inverters. And our inverters are installed in now over 100 countries worldwide, and with an upticking trend. So here you can see our headquarters in Shenzhen, but we have got also offices and warehouses in all the important markets as of right now. As you can see, I'm sitting here in an office in Frankfurt, Bad Homburg to be precise. But as you can see, we are focused on Europe right at the moment, but we also have branch offices in America, LA, Guadalajara in Mexico, and also in Brazil in Mogistar Cruises. So there are a lot of prejudice about Chinese company, and Growatt is aware of that, and Growatt is also aware of their social responsibility. We've got the SA 8000 certification, which is the leading standard for social and labor standards. So our laborers, our workers are actually being treated well, which is unfortunately not always the case for a company this size. So, this is our office in Bad Homburg, which is like 15 minutes away from Frankfurt. As you can see, this is the entry, our German hotline, where you can ask where you or the customer can ask questions about our devices, need getting advice in German during the weekdays. We've got a little training center where our inverters are installed, one of every kind. We've got batteries installed, so you can see on hand what kind of batteries, what kind of devices you're using. And if you're nearby, you're also welcome to visit us, get a little training. But as far as the health regulations and the current situation allows. And we've also got a service stock. This is, as you can see, we were operating on behalf for the whole of Germany, plus some other countries nearby. And you can see the stock is there, but it's not that much. So even though we are operating in Europe, we don't need to replace the devices so often. So this stock is enough for us. So I think that's it from right now, and I'm giving back to Reinhard.
Yeah, thank you, Tuning, for this short introduction. We will hear more from Growatt after my main part now. And as I already mentioned, the topic from myPV is hot water and space heating from photovoltaics. We are a manufacturer, I already mentioned that, but we are also the developer of the solutions that we are going to show now. As you can hear, maybe from my accent, we are located in Austria. Okay, the future is going to be electric. This is one of our opinions in terms of building installation. And before we start presenting the solutions, I would like to deal with the topic itself at the beginning. So we have to make the transition to renewable energies. We have to, and we will succeed on that. And to do so, we need all the storage capacities that are available. The battery in a residential building is just the most common way to store excessive PV power. It's easy to understand. We have solar PV power, we have electric power, so we want to store it in an electrical storage in a battery. But typical storage capacities in a residential building, they are somewhere in between 5 kilowatt hours and 10 kilowatt hours. And Juning will excuse me, this is still an investment that is not completely low. As a cheaper alternative, we can use excessive energy for hot water heating, for example. This is the business from myPV. And as we can see, when we heat up a hot water boiler, let's say of a 300 liter volume, to a certain temperature level, we can store 15 kilowatt hours of excessive energy. And so this is now clear. myPV can be a cheap alternative to battery systems, yes, but we do not compete with batteries. We have many very successful compatibility partners from the battery side, and Growatt is one of them. And if you combine both technologies together, you raise your PV self-consumption ratio to a maximum. In combination with Growatt, it does not matter if there is a battery or not. It works in every case, and this is one of the benefits when you combine our two brands. And then I would like to talk a little bit about the energy demand in a single family home. As a manufacturer, we are also supplying residential or multi-story buildings. Actually, we are also supplying industrial projects, but this slide here is mainly about residential PV systems. So most of the people in Europe use 4,000 kilowatt hours of electricity per year to power their electric appliances and their illumination in the buildings. And they are in most cases aware of that because they have to pay the energy bill, but they hardly ever know that they require nearly the same amount of energy for hot water heating. I'm talking about a 4-person household now. We need approximately 4,000 kilowatt hours per year for hot water heating as well. And with an on-grid PV system, we can easily cover also this energy segment to the most part of the year with excessive PV power. And what we have to explain in some cases is the principle that we are working with, because the people, they see a direct electric heating element, let's say an immersion heater or an infrared panel or an electric heating mat in the floor, and they are thinking about, this is not very ecological, this is not very economical, this is dirty energy from coal-fired power plants or something. But this is not what we do. We use direct electric heating elements, but myPV controls them linearly according to the amount of excessive PV power. So the most part that we are using is excessive, clean and free energy from your own roof. And this is the only part that we are using unless you activate the optional boost backup. So all the energy that needs to be supplied for backup, let's say during bad weather conditions or during winter time, can be from the battery or from the power grid, but this has to be activated on our device. The factory preset is that we are using excessive energy only, so energy that would be fed back into the power grid. And the rest of the remaining heat demand can also be supplied by a biomass boiler, by a heat pump, by a district heating system. This does not matter to us because we are just feeding a boiler or a storage tank. And if another heat source is feeding the same tank as well, it does not matter for our application. So the boost backup from the power grid is always an option, and the factory preset at myPV devices is that it's deactivated. We are using excessive power only when you combine our product with Growatt systems for the first time. Good. It's all about raising the self-consumption ratio. We want to keep the energy in the building. We do not want to feed it into the power grid. And I'm using this slide quite often. It's from the Technical University in Berlin. And here we see the self-utilization ratio for a single family home with a 5 kilowatt peak system, for example. And what we can read here is that the self-utilization ratio for a normal system is around about 1/3. The rest of the energy would be fed into the power grid because energy production from the roof happens not at the same time when we have demand, let's say in the evening, for example. That's completely clear. So the normal way to improve the system is to install a battery. And see there, we increase the self-consumption ratio to around about 66%. And this can be done with the Growatt system. Juning will tell us more on that. But actually, I have to say it once again, we have not completely marginal investment step here. So the alternative would be to install a myPV solution to use excessive power with for hot water heating, for example. This is possible with Growatt and myPV combined, but also when there is a battery from Growatt, this works. And then you can increase your self-utilization ratio even higher to more than 90% in this example. When we are controlled by Growatt, the sequence, the order of the usage of excessive power is very great, because we are using the excessive power for charging the battery with priority. And this is very important because once it is heated by myPV in the hot water boiler, we cannot get back electricity out of it. So on the physical side and then on the economic side, electric energy has the most value, the highest value, much higher than heat, of course, because this has the lowest value. So priority for the usage of excessive power is always on charging the battery. And this works very well with Growatt. We have figured this out ourselves in our lab, and this is really a very fast and accurate control. Okay. myPV is offering solutions for hot water from PV for many years now. We started our production story in 2014 with a product called Elva. This is actually a PV immersion heater. It's for DC current, so you can directly connect panels there, and it's a very easy and very successful solution. Today, we want to talk about on-grid systems. So we are talking about AC solutions that use the excessive power in an on-grid system. And here we have to deal with the question, how much excessive power is available. This is something that changes all the time because PV production on your roof changes all the time. That's completely clear. But at the same time, you're also switching on and off the loads in your building. And the amount of excessive power, the amount of power which is too much, changes all the time. It's changing permanently. And now the purpose of myPV becomes clear. We have to adjust the power output on the electric heater accordingly. And we have to adjust this very fast and very accurate. And all our products are able to do so. So in 1 second, the immersion heater is powered with 2347 watts. And in the next second, it's powered with 1300 watts, whatever. Everything in between our power range is possible. And this is the essential feature for power to heat applications with PV power. And this is the core know-how from myPV. So one way to detect the excessive power in the feed-in point is a device called myPV Power Meter. This is installed next to the utility meter of the energy supplier. But the big deal here is now that you do not require this myPV Power Meter for the combination with Growatt, because Growatt can supply the excessive power information to myPV. So we can forget the myPV Power Meter. We do not need it. And Growatt is supplying us with the information that we need. And again, I have tested this personally, and this really works very fast and very accurate with Growatt. Good. It's all about a product named Actor. And I have one device here next to me. And when we introduced the Actor in 2017 for the first time, it was misunderstood by many people. Because they looked at this device, they saw that it has a color touch display, and in the first second, they immediately thought about a smart home system. But actually, this was wrong. The Actor is not a smart home system. It's technically speaking an AC power controller. It's a power stage. What can we do with this power stage? We can connect an electric heating element to this power stage, and we ensure that this electric heating element becomes PV ready now, because we can do the linear power control now. Without an Actor, an electric immersion heater would be switched on and off and nothing in between. So full power or no power. We are now controlling the power linear on this immersion heater, and this means we adjust the power output according to the amount of excessive power. I have mentioned it with Growatt. This works if there is a battery and when there is no battery. This is very beneficial. So you are completely flexible when you combine our brands together. And there is also an online calculator on our website to do plannings on your customer requests. Actually, this is a tool. It's really making fun to use it because it's very easy to handle. But it's a serious tool. I recommend to use it because it helps you to do a planning of the system that you are offering to. So you can adjust a location. There are many locations on the globe available. You can adjust the PV system with the inclination, the orientation, the power, of course. You can adjust if there is an EV that has to be considered. You can adjust the volume of the thermal tank. This is very important for us. You can also adjust if there is a battery, and if yes, how much capacity does the battery have. And it helps you to get an idea of the possibilities, of the improvement possibilities, because you can add various variants. And you can compare these variants with each other. So you can immediately see what an improvement is possible when you add a myPV device to this system, what improvement is possible on the self-utilization ratio, what improvement is possible on the independence ratio. You can also do an economic calculation with this tool, because you can adjust prices for heat and for feed-in tariff and for electricity rate when you import from the grid. So it's very easy to handle, and it's really a great tool to figure out what is possible on increasing the self-consumption ratio. Good. And here is the first variant of the actor. It's a single-phase variant. It comes with a European main socket, but for international markets, it's also available with an international adapter here. So the load can easily be installed even without a European mains plug. And what is important to say are the unique sales features of the actor. So number one is the size. It's very small. It's extremely compact, and this is a 3 kilowatt power stage. So the second unique sales point, it has a color touch display. I'm always telling at this point, when you're able to set the timer to wake up tomorrow morning on your smartphone, you can also adjust the optional boost backup with this display. And you can do so without taking the manual. So it's very easy and easy to understand and self-explaining. So unique sales point number 3. Everything on the bottom here is pluggable. Not only the load, also the communication is pluggable. And one temperature sensor is always supplied with the actor. It's also pre-wired on this orange plug here. And when the device is installed, as we can see it on the right side of this slide, over a cable channel, as we say in German, then all the wires and the cables, they cannot be seen because they are covered from this channel. And then it looks smart, and it's installed in a way that we recommend to the installers. So this have been 3 unique sales points. I have one more for you. We are open for third-party control. And this makes this successful story with Growatt, because one way to give the excessive power information to the actor is the myPV power meter. And we have many compatible manufacturers that are communicating with us as well. Usually the communication happens via Ethernet here. So this is the most common way, but it's not the only way to communicate with the actor. With Growatt, we use a Mod RS485 connection. But this is also possible and very easy to install. And here we have the pins on this 8th pole plug, where there's also the temperature sensor wired. And for the combination with Growatt, we do not need more than this RS485 connection. Optionally, you can also connect it to your Ethernet router, and then you have access to the web interface of the actor as well. But to combine the actor with Growatt, it's not necessary. This RS485 connection is completely enough. Okay, it's a 3 kilowatt power stage. And here is the international version with this mains plug adapter. And here you see also the temperature sensor, which is pre-wired on this orange plug here. This is a small pin, like my pencil here. It helps you to click on the touch display. Good, and then there is the technical data. I already mentioned our power control range. It's from 0 to 3000 watt possible with the actor. And there are all the technical details that I already mentioned. You will receive the slides of today's presentation after the webinar. So you can completely relax and go one more time through the slides, read all the details if you like. The only thing that I want to mention here is our way to communicate with Growatt. It's again RS485, while the standard way would be with Ethernet, but you have all the advantages also with this other hardware wiring. Then the second variant of the actor is the big brother of the product. It's the so-called Actor 9S. And it's a 3 phase 9 kilowatt power stage that I'm going to show you now. And this is not a mistake from my side that we are using the same picture here on the right side of the screen. We really achieved to put in a 9 kilowatt power stage into this same box. So the power density is really unique now. There is no other competitor product that gives you a 9 kilowatt power stage of this small size. And even if due to the fact that this three-phase product, we kept everything on the bottom here pluggable. Of course, what disappeared is this European main socket here, but also the three phases here can be plugged. And now we are completely flexible in terms of the load, because we can connect a three-phase load there, but we can also connect three single-phase loads there. Because one of the most advanced beneficials of the Actro 9S is its ability to control each power output, each one of these three power outputs separately linearly. When you take a closer look on competitor products that are offering three-phase power stages, you might see that they are actually only controlling one and the same phase linearly, and actually they are just switching on and off a second or a third phase. The Actro 9S works in the same way. What can we do better is that we can change the separated phase from output 1 to output 2 to output 3. And now we can also use three single phase loads and control them linearly. For example, a 3 kilowatt immersion heater, a 2 kilowatt electric heating mat, and a 1 kilowatt infrared panel. It does not matter. The Actro 9S is able to handle these loads. What is important to say is that the communication connection to Growatt works exactly in the same way as for the single phase product. And when you use the Actro 9S for retrofitting on an existing electric load, you have to be aware of one detail. What we need on that load is the neutral conductor. The connection is always a star connection. It's not a delta connection. This is very important to detect the nominal power of the load. And if you do so, the Actro 9S can of course also be used with a, let's say, 6 kilowatt load. It can also be used with a 4.5 kilowatt load. As long as there is a neutral installed, we can detect the nominal power of the load automatically. There is not even an adjustment necessary on the Actro. It can detect this by its own and use the load accordingly. So very easy, and the overall power range is from 0 to 9,000 watt. So the Actro and the Actro 9S are great solutions for retrofitting of existing electric heaters. But for all of you who are interested to get all the units, all the devices from one hand, from a one-stop supplier, we can also offer immersion heaters to you. So there's a three-phase 9 kilowatt immersion heater, and there's also a single phase 3 kilowatt immersion heater as an accessory part for Actro and Actro 9S. If you're interested in these accessory parts, we can also offer them to you, and then you have the security that all components fit together perfectly. Okay, Actro and Actro 9S advantages. I think I have mentioned all of them. What I have not mentioned is the setting for the Growatt communication. We already talked about the hardware wiring, so it's an RS485 connection with 3 wires here at the bottom. And on the display in the menu, you can choose Growatt as a signal source. And this is very easy, just a few clicks, and then the communication is implemented. If you connect the Actro to an Ethernet, to an Ethernet router as well, you also have access to the web interface. So this is not necessary for the combination, but it's a feature. And also on this web interface, Growatt can be selected as a signal source. And there are many other possible settings, much more than are available on the display, of course, because at some point you are limited with this small size, and on the web interface you have much more possibilities to configure the Actro units. But before I hand over to Juning again, actually you do not have to do adjustments. You only have to wire the RS485 connection here, and you have to select Growatt as a signal source on the display, and that's it. So all the other possible settings that I mentioned, they are just benefits. It's not necessary to install the device with complex adjustments. It's very easy. And at this point, enough from my side. Junin, the stage is yours now.
Thank you very much, Reinhard. I'm gonna introduce you or present you our product right now. The devices that are interesting for this application are our hybrid devices as well as our batteries. As Reinhard said already, these batteries are not necessary. myPV works with Growatt without battery as well. So it's an addition, not a necessity. So we've got three different kinds of hybrid solutions. On the one hand, we have got the SPH 3000 to 6000. This is a single phase system. Then we got the SPH three phase solution, which ranges from 5 to 10 kilowatts, as you can see on the numbers here. And there's also an up version, which is just marked with the up at the end, as well as our SPA inverters, which are just AC coupled solution if you want to integrate a battery. Speaking of batteries, we've got two versions of batteries. On the one hand, we've got our ARK low voltage battery. The LV stands for low voltage, which are modular batteries. More of that later. One modular block has got a 2.56 kilowatt hours, and it can range up to 25.6 kilowatt hours. As well as the high voltage battery, it's also 2.56 kilowatt hours per module, and you need 3 to start with, and it can go up to 25.6 kilowatt hours. So okay, let's continue. These models are just in comparison, as I said already. We've got the single phase solution where it only has one phase. It got two MPPTs with two strings that you can plug inside, and type 3 SPD, and also a backup function in EPS. EPS stands for emergency power supply. Then we've got the same thing as a three-phase inverter, hybrid inverter, ranges from 5 to 10 kilowatts. It got two MPPTs as well, and also two strings you can plug in these two MPPTs. This one got a Type 2 SPD on the DC and AC side, and it's also equipped with an emergency power supply. That's optional. And this is the newest product, the SPH 5000 to 10,000 TL3 BH minus up. It's the power range is the same as the previous model. It's also three-phase system, called two MPPTs with two strings that can be connected to each MPPT, and it got a Type 2 SPD on the AC side. One of the differences is the backup function is not an EPS function, but rather an UPS function. UPS here stands for uninterrupted power supply. So yeah. More to our batteries. Two different versions. The LV version stands for low voltage, and the HV version for high voltage. Both of them are very similar. Each model has 2.56 kilowatt hours and can go up to 25.6 kilowatt hours for the people who are just so much into batteries. Both of them consist of very safe and cobalt-free lithium-ion, phosphor, oxygen 4, whatever batteries. So you don't have to worry to put something like this in the basement, and both can be upgraded remotely in case something is broken or you need new functions. Yeah, the low voltage battery is compatible with a single phase inverters, and the high voltage battery is compatible with the three phase inverters, hybrid inverters. So yeah, as I already said, the design is modular. So you've got a block of battery which you just put on top of the other one. This way, the customer can decide later on if he maybe wants to expand his battery, if he wants to get more battery, if he's just not keen at the beginning and just want to experience what a battery is like, and if he is satisfied with the result, he can just get another battery block, put it on top of that. Here you can see how the cable management is. It's super easy. We've got color matching cables. There's a little line for the communication for the communication between the modules, and yeah, that's it. And here it's not in the picture yet, but this is just the power supply from the inverter to the battery. So the installation is very easy, and this is special for the up version. Here you have got a typical, very easy and broken down PV system. We've got 10 kilowatts on top on the roof that's just producing. Let's say you've got 5 kilowatts of users in your house. So the other 5 kilowatts go to the battery or to the myPV system, and the remaining 5 kilowatts can be split up asymmetrical into the different phases of the house. So before it was just symmetric. So just for example, you got 6 kilowatts. That's excessive 6 kilowatts excessive energy, and that would be just distributed evenly between the three phases. But right now you can just, if L1 needs 3 kilowatts, you can just put 3 kilowatts in L1. L2 doesn't need anything, so it's just empty, and the 3 is 2 kilowatts, and so you and just get the 2 kilowatts. So this is the new feature of the up version, the new main feature. So as Reinhard already said, this is a little graph how you can see a typical time progress of solar. The thing about solar is it produces the most energy when people are mostly not at home. So logically, the sun will rise around 6 a.m. The more sun there is, the more energy the solar system produces. But around 9 a.m., most people are at work or not at home at all, and the surplus energy would go just to waste. Of course, you can sell it to your grid operator, but to me it doesn't make any sense to sell it to a grid operator for 8 cents per kilowatt hours and then buy it back in the night for 31 cents per kilowatt hours. These are numbers in Germany at the moment. So the solution, there are different solutions, of course. One solution would be saving it in a battery, or you can use a myPV system to convert the energy into warm water. So as Reinhard already said, it's not necessary to get a battery. It's additional. It's an additional feature. Here you can see how the system is connected to the myPV system. The video will be uploaded to YouTube later on, so you don't have to take notes. Just pause the video at this point. For the SPH, single-phase SPH, it's these pins, pin 5, 4, and 7 for A, B, and ground. For the hybrid system, the three-phase hybrid system, it's the RS485 with pin 7, 8, and 2 for the ground. And for the up version, it's the RS485-3 port with pin 5, 1, and 2. myPV has got a very neat feature, so you just need to connect the right pins and then just choose Growatt on the screen, and then it's all done. You don't have to worry about anything. And as I heard, the controller, which is controlling the myPV system, works exceptionally well with the Growatt system. But this is just the anecdote. Furthermore, Growatt offers a ShinePhone app as well as monitoring on your in the web browser. On the app, you can just see how much your system produces, how much goes into the battery, how much load consumption you have, and how much is imported to the grid. You can got all kinds of details as time progress over the day, how much energy is used, how much comes from the PV system, how much you exported to the grid, how much you imported from the grid, and it's also available for the web browser. It's a little bigger, so the graph seems a little bit nicer. Also, in case you've got your internet connection drops in between, the data is not lost. The inverter has got a little memory on itself, so up to 1 month as far as I know. So all the data is stored and safe for a later upload. And we've got also an online smart service, which is mostly for an installer and also retailers, where the installer can see which how many inverters are installed, which inverter is reporting any failures. The installer can remotely modify parameters, do firmware upgrades, and just reduces the need for on-site traveling, which saves a lot of manpower and was probably money, and which then decreases the maintenance cost. So I think this is quite a unique feature for Growatt systems. You've got if you decide that you want to grow a system, you can have an overall system provider and the overall system from one supplier. So you've got the inverter, the battery, an ATS, which is an automatic transfer switch in order to use the EPS or UPS function. You've got the monitoring, which is, by the way, free. You just need to have a Growatt inverter, so no subscription needed. The app is free as well. We've got the smart meter that is for the controlling of the house load and the battery, and you've got the app which can be downloaded in Google Play Store or the App Store from Apple. So and also we've got a very good customer service. So this is number for the hotline. In case you need any quick questions, you have got any quick questions, you can write an email if the question is a little bit more complicated. If you want to attach any pictures, service.de@growatt.com. And our warehouse is in close to Frankfurt, 15 minutes away from Frankfurt, Hessing 83. In case you need any replacement units, it can be sent out within Europe, within Germany. So no need to wait for long if you need, just in case you need it. For any questions, you can ask our Germany manager, Mr. Tian Wu. email address is here, and for any technical question, after sales question, this is my email address. You can ask me. So now I'm giving back the scepter to Reinhard.
All right, thank you very much, Juning, for this impressive overview of your solutions. And all the products that you have seen today can be combined with each other. So there are many inverters from the Growatt side, and there are two products, Actor and Actor 9S, available from myPV to get in combination with Growatt. And together we have the idea of increasing the self-consumption ratio. We want to keep the energy in the building. We want to avoid feeding into the power grid. By the way, more and more energy suppliers or grid operators actually, they do not allow feed-in. In many other countries, we see zero feed-in. It's permitted to, or there is no permission to feed into the power grid at all. And then this whole topic immediately becomes interesting. Keep the energy in the building, store it wherever you can, in the battery, in the hot water boiler, in the storage tank, or even in the building mass by using an electric heating system. What is always essential for electric heating is, as I mentioned, the linear power control. And this is the core know-how and the feature that myPV is offering to make electric heating PV ready. Good. Information is online. Not only the manuals and not only the marketing materials, but also the wiring diagrams, for example. So already before you have made the decision to buy a myPV product, you have the chance to inform yourself about all the installation details that are interesting. And this is available for everyone. This is free. It does not even require a login or a registration on the website. Everything here can be downloaded. Also records of the webinars, for example. It's the same for YouTube. There is our channel. We are feeding the channel regularly with new uploads. And one thing that might also be interesting for the first installation is the Actor commissioning video. There we used a small camera right above the display of Actor, and we recorded how few steps are required to do the commissioning of an Actor. It's really very easy. I give you some good tips and tricks on this. It's actually in German, but the subtitles on YouTube are pretty good, and I bet you get a good feeling and an overview how this installation works or can be done. Good. myPV is a manufacturer. We are not doing end customer business. We are selling our solutions via installers, via resellers, but mainly we are wholesalers. And we have a very good and quite well developed distribution network in the German-speaking countries, Switzerland, Austria, where we are located, and Germany. And we are increasing our distribution network in other countries as well. This is what Talal is working on. If you are interested in getting in touch with you, if you are interested in increasing business together in your country, then please just get in touch with Talal, and we will find a way to do so and to start business in your location together. Okay, summary. Power to heat is always the simplest way to increase the self-consumption in an on-grid system, and the Actors can very easy be combined with Growatt. This is what we wanted to show you today. I hope we succeeded on that. We sell our products via wholesalers and specialized retailers. And here is again Talal's email address. If you want to have the price list, if you have a request for us, do not hesitate and get in touch with us. We are looking forward to your contact. So, feedback. I hope it was easy to understand for you today. If not, please give us professional feedback either in the chat or via email. Once you have my contact data with the slides in a few minutes, you can also directly reply on that email, and you will get in touch with me. And of course, I'm looking forward to professional feedback. We always want to increase the quality also on this on this channel. Yeah, it's a one-way communication. Actually, I'm talking to the camera right now, but it should be easy to understand for you, and I hope it was clear today what we presented. I hope so. And if not, please do not hesitate and tell me what I can improve. Actually, there has not been a single question today, which is really surprising to me. Talal was on standby to answer your questions, but we can discuss questions also later on. And then at this point, it's up to me to say thank you. Juning, you can also reconnect yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for the participation today. And wherever you are, stay healthy, and all the best from my side here in Austria. Thank you very much.
I want to say thank you as well. Just on behalf of Growatt, thank you for the partnership. Thank you for the possibility to have devices, to have just the possibility to work with each other.
It was a pleasure, Juning. It was the second time for our team play. Again, it worked perfectly from my point of view. So thank you very much also to you and your team in Germany.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All the best, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you are, have a nice afternoon or evening or a nice day. Thank you so much. Goodbye.